What's up, people? Welcome back. And how are you today? Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Took a little vacation for myself and came back feeling a little bit inspired. Um, some news, I finally decided that I'm going to pursue a podcast. It's something that I've been contemplating for a few months now and never really pulled the trigger on doing it. But on my little break, I don't know, felt like I cleared some things out of my head and opened it up for some more, newer things, other things. So I fully committed to starting a podcast. I actually just got the logos in about 10 minutes ago. So I'm really excited for that podcast. To give you guys a quick premise of it, I think there's, a little bit of a need for the filmmaking creative podcast community to talk about things like personal finance, mental health, physical health, investing in, equipment, how equipment can make money for you. That is all in personal finance as well, how to save money, how to start a business as a freelancer, should you start an LLC, all of these things, as well as the technical side to filmmaking and different positions in filmmaking: Steadicam operator, director, producer, first AD, first AC, sound mixer. All these different positions are all people that I want to talk to. And most of the people that I'm going to be talking to are in the middle tier, middle high-ish tier, whatever you consider working professionals that aren't doing, huge huge network stuff or big movies or anything. They're just working professionals doing commercials, doing interviews, talking head, people that do this for a living and can add a really, valuable perspective. I think that is essential in the podcast community right now. I also want to talk to people that are outside of filmmaking, but, have creative solutions to starting a business, or, just people that have started businesses and what their take is. And maybe that'll benefit you in some way, because for me, I just like talking to people about business. It's very interesting to me. Even if I'm talking to someone in a different industry, they might have a tip on taxes. They might have a tip on how to invoice people, whatever it is, there's always a takeaway. So that is coming soon. I'm really excited for that. So stay tuned for things to come with that. But moving on, today I'm going to be talking about something that I was also inspired by. Last week, a video came out by Danny Gavertz, and it's about whether or not you should be a director, cinematographer, whatever the better career choice is, something like that. And if you look at the comments, most of the people pretty much say the same thing. I struggle with this all the time. I deal with this all the time. I think about this all the time. And it's very true, because I also think about that all the time. And I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, because in the beginning, like he said, you do everything. You shoot, you direct, you edit, you're essentially doing everything. So you come from a place where you are doing both. And when you have to separate, that's a hard place to be, because you might have strong passions for both and not really know yet which you truly love. And, I've talked about this before, about me being a cinematographer and me thinking and believing that this is my calling, that I don't want to be a director. And I could say maybe about a year later, year and a half, year later, something like that, I think my instincts are only growing stronger. And I fully believe that being a DP and cinematographer is 100% my calling and my place. I don't even know how to describe it sometimes, because I will do a job that I am really excited for, whether it's a passion project with friends or if it's a commercial that I'm really excited about. I'll get done at the end of the day at wrap and be in the car driving home, and I'll call, my girlfriend or whoever, and be like, today was one of those days where I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing in my life. This fulfilled every part of what I would hope a career would be. And I get those sometimes, and it only solidifies the feeling that I have that this is supposed to be where I'm headed. And, I don't always do those type of commercials where I'm feeling that every day. A lot of what I do is talking head, corporate videos to make a living. I do, small kind of BS commercials and run and gun stuff all the time. Things that don't really fulfill me, but They pay my bills, they allow me to do this for a living, and sometimes it's a break from the creative work, and it's just like you get to go with a camera and go shoot something that's pretty easy, but it's only easy because I've been doing this for so long, or someone else has been doing it for so long, and they have the reps, and that's important as a DP. Is you can't always do the amazing projects until you get to a certain level. So take the time to take those, lower level projects for the reps. Set up your camera all the time. Learn how to light an interview under 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Be able to, come into a space and know what you want almost immediately. Now, I'm not saying that's always going to happen, but when you get the reps and you do this all the time, you start to have a really strong muscle memory of what needs to be done to make something look a very specific way. And when you're doing corporate videos or small commercials, they're hiring you to look, they're hiring you to make something look a specific way and at a certain level. You're going to get to a point where sometimes sometimes I'm not there at all, where you get hired for your creativity and what you could, spin on an idea. And a lot of the corporate stuff is, hey, we want it to kind of look like this. Can you just achieve this? And if you can achieve just like a base look of what they're looking for, then you need a lot more practice and more reps. That was a tangent, I think. But, I love these videos because they are tangents. I think it's just me speaking. It's like a therapy. I say it all the time, but it is. I think this is going to be kind of like my podcast. I'm just going to be talking about things, but sometimes with guests, sometimes myself. It's going to be a good time. So more of why I think being a DP is my calling is because I love the technical side of it, a lot. And I'm not saying that technology supersedes story or the purpose of the film or what we're shooting. It's just that I get really excited about technology. I love, when new things come out that is improving the industry, or there's a new light that came out that was, missing something that we all wish had. And it's just everything's getting better and better and more accessible, and it's allowing people to really make beautiful things. I love story too. I love storytelling, but I also continue to learn about myself that talking with actors and actresses about their emotion, their this, that, isn't something that is a strong suit for me, nor is it something that I am extremely interested in. And I say that very carefully because I don't want anyone to think that I don't care about that, because I do. But I find real joy, real happiness, and real, eagerness to learn and motivation when I am talking with someone who is passionate about those things, where I can talk to that person about the emotion of lighting, the emotion of why we're moving the camera this way, or the lensing, and all of these different things is what interests me. And that opinion has only gotten stronger over time, just due to some of the higher level projects that I've started to do and working with other key crew members like the key grips and gaffers. It's amazing for me to be able to work with them because they know way more than me, and I learn all the time about the technical stuff. That's invaluable for me, to be honest. And sometimes I feel if I were directing, I would lose that knowledge because I would be too invested in the actors and actresses, and that is what the director is supposed to do amongst a million other things. I want to be surrounded by the technical stuff. I want to be surrounded by the lighting and the camera and the crew. That is what fuels me. So for anyone that is, still struggling with this decision, and I think I'm still going to struggle with this decision because I direct my own passion projects. I love it. I love talking with talent and creating what I want, the music that I want, the sound effects that I want. I love doing that. And I think I'm going to continue to do that forever because it's something that it's a great release for me. But at the same time, I'm still struggling with it's hard. It's hard because I love doing it. I'm like, well, why can't you just do it for a living then, dude? Because I'm like, well, I want to hold the camera still. And I don't know. It's weird. But I'm still really happy being a cinematographer because I also see a lot of growth in myself. I think that's something that is also really important is I spend most of my time learning how to be a better DP, learning how to light better, how to come up with creative compositions that, maybe another DP wouldn't think of. Because I've been on shoots recently where I had a realization, like, I'm being hired, to make something look good, but also to, add my creative touch. So why am I trying to do all of these, just basic angles and basic camera movements? Why can't let me just think of something out of the box? And, I had an experience on a commercial where we did something way out of the box that the director hasn't ever done. I've never done, but we're like, let's try it. And we both loved it. It came out great. And, I had a moment where I was like, that is, I think, what separates DPs is taking that risk, taking that creative risk, and, believing in that decision. And I know that there were times where I was coming up with these choices and second guessing myself because I wasn't sure if the director would like it or if it would be acceptable. But, I believed in myself. I was like, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see how it looks. And it turned out good. But that got me feeling real passionate again about doing this because I'm like, I'm getting better at it. I am starting to see that people trust me a lot more in the creative side of things, not being able to just make something look a certain way, but add my own little twist to it. And that's amazing for me. I feel really lucky to be able to start getting these positions. I also love the leadership aspect of being a DP. Being a director, you're the head of the entire production. But as a DP, you're in charge of your crew, the grips, the gaffers, the electricians, the, assistant cameras, operators, whoever you have. They look up to you for the, your energy, your creativity. Like you as a DP look to the director for that confidence in their decision making, their creativity, and it inspires you. Your crew also looks to you for inspiration. And as a DP, that is super important to understand because you hold a leadership position. And the more creative you are, the more willing you are to take a risk is only going to rub off on your crew to make it a way better of an experience. So that's my little rant today, just talking about things that I like talking to myself about and things that I question all the time. So I appreciate you guys sitting and listening and just hearing me out as I just chat along and ramble for a couple minutes. So yeah, you might not have the answer right away, and I don't think it's an easy question to answer, and I think it's something that I'm still working with. But if you believe something, you'll feel it. If something feels right, go with your gut, try it out. So that's all I got for you guys today. Again, stay tuned for the podcast. If you like these videos, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, say what's up. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day today. Peace out.